Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Arts and Farts episode 4. That's episode number 4. There were 3 episodes before it, so this is going to be the 4th one. So today we're going to be drawing some rocks. And if you haven't seen the show before, it's a show where I'm going to provide a reference photo for you. It's going to be a link to that in the description, so you can pull it up as well if you'd like, and you can draw along with me if you want. But I'm gonna draw some rocks, and I really like drawing rocks, and I think it's important to know how to draw rocks because if you're drawing like any sort of landscape or comic story or anything like that, there's probably going to be a rock in it at some point or another. So it's good to know how to draw that. Plus, there's lots of different kinds of rocks. All sorts of different shapes. Some are like round and smooth. Some are jagged looking, like this one. And I thought this one had some really cool like lines and stuff like that. Cool like shadow areas and stuff. So I printed out like a quick, you can probably see like my reference photo printout is not like the best quality, but I just printed out a quick draft because I'm not going to be doing too much shading because I am using a ballpoint pen today, and I am using my favorite ballpoint pen. That's the Pentel RSVP. It's the medium size. It's a really nice ballpoint pen. They're really inexpensive, and if you like drawing with ballpoint, I definitely recommend trying it out. But I liked a lot of the like angles and stuff on here. Like kind of sharp angles, a couple straight lines. Not too many though, but it should be interesting. So you want to pull your reference photo up? That'd be the time to do it. Should probably already do it by now, but yeah, let's go ahead and draw a rock. So since I'm using a ballpoint pen, I'm not gonna be able to do like a whole bunch of like detailed shading or anything like that. You can totally do that with ballpoint if you want to, but I like with ballpoint just keeping my hand like really loose and just focusing on like the lines. And I think like drawing a rock with like all these like straight lines and like jagged lines and stuff like that, I think it's pretty well suited to drawing with ballpoint pen. So I'm just gonna keep it like really loose and like just glancing ever so slightly at my reference. It's like in the corner of my eye. I've talked about that before, but if you're drawing reference, I can see enough just while looking at the paper. I can see the reference out of the corner of my eye enough to get like information to make the lines. I don't have to like shift my vision to look directly at it or anything like that. And if you have drawn with ballpoint pen before, it's one of my favorite tools to draw with. I used to do it a lot more. I've done it less now that I've been working on more graphite and stuff like that. But hey, Inktober is coming up, so I might be whipping out some more ballpoint pens and like ink and stuff like that. Ballpoint pen is a really nice kind of mix between like the really sharp lines of like something with like a felt tip or like a more traditional ink pen, like a micron or something like that, and kind of like the versatility of a pencil. Because like with a ballpoint pen, I'll do it a little bit more. I'll show you like you can get some really light lines and tones and stuff out of a ballpoint pen. If you don't want to just jump in with your lines, you can kind of like do almost like a rough sketch. You see I'm like just doing really light there and like kind of that shadow area. But yeah, anyway, I like drawing rocks. I think rocks are really fun to draw. Whenever I'm like out in nature, like going hiking or something like that, I always look for like interesting rocks because it's just one of those things that like you don't really think about it until you have to draw it, And I've drawn a lot of comics with like Errant, the comic that's available for free on my Gumroad. Drew a lot of rocks in that one because that takes place in a lot of like more natural areas as far as like the setting is concerned. So learning how to draw rocks and trees and stuff like that, that all lends itself to learning how to draw environments. It's the same thing as like learning how to draw a chair. But if your characters are like outside, if it's like a fantasy story or whatever, and they're like hiking around, adventuring and all that, then there's not going to be like chairs out in the wild. There's going to be trees and plants and rocks and that kind of thing. So it really just depends on what you're working on. But even if you're not like working on a story that's going to feature a whole bunch of rocks, it's a good exercise. It's one of those things that like you just don't really think about, like, kind of, I think, really easy to just overlook, you know. And if you're out on a camping trip or whatever, or next time you go for like a hike or you know, for a drive or something like that, and there's like cool rock formations, I recommend like taking some pictures, you know, if you want to practice more, take some pictures of some cool rocks and draw them. And then, you know, when I draw, I don't look at reference for rocks when I draw, you know. So it's just kind of like something that I've learned how to do, and kind of like, you know, trying to understand how they work, and, you know, what could have possibly formed them, and stuff like that. It's really, really interesting stuff to think about. Really inspiring to me, to think about, like, you know, a lot of these rocks are probably older than me, and they're probably formed in like really interesting ways, you know, whether it be from like an earthquake or from the ocean, you know. Like, all rocks are different, man. Every rock has its own like unique story. That's like crazy weird stuff to think about, but I like thinking about that stuff. Yeah, I don't know how many times in this episode I'm gonna say I like drawing rocks, but it's probably gonna be a good several times, maybe several dozen times. So we'll see. Like all the textures and stuff. And if you're gonna hop in and like do this with pencil or something like that, you can get some really, really cool textures with pencil, like just really quickly. You can kind of keep it, you know, pretty vague. I'm kind of getting in on the details a little bit here, just because I'm having fun. But you can when you're working with stuff like this, like anything natural, or, you know, a little bit more rough, you know, not like manufactured looking. You can just kind of, you know, you don't have to make the rock look exactly the same. You know, if you just want to get like ideas and like draw your own rock that's like similar or something like that, or you want to, you know, you could take this small rock and turn it into something different. Something that I've done a couple times working on different projects is, like, if I have to design like a mountain or something like that, you know, something that you're going to see more than once, it's really easy to just draw like and like, oh, there's my mountain. But it'd be cool too if you take this rock and like use the silhouette of the rock to like create a mountain, you know, make it like 1,000 times bigger than it actually is, and you like draw trees on it and stuff. That's a fun thing that I've done. I think it's really helpful. If, you know, you could use like a smaller rock formation to design a bigger one, or, you know, something like that. It's really just, you know, you're only limited by your own creativity. So I definitely think it's cool to like experiment with stuff like that. And same thing with, you know, trees and plants and stuff too. Like rough stuff like that, even if you're working off of a photo reference, like you don't have to make it exactly the same, because it's one of those things that like no two plants are exactly alike, no two rocks are exactly alike. So you can kind of just, you know, do your own thing. But like gaining inspiration, like the initial inspiration from something that actually does exist, can help you create something that doesn't exist, that's you know, potentially like much more convincing than the real thing, or much more convincing than something that you would have like fabricated, you know, just from your head. Like, okay, we've got the dog drinking water. Hope you guys do like that sound in the background. That's gonna sound really, really good later. Thirsty, very thirsty. Okay, thanks, bud. Cool. Yeah, exciting stuff. Drawing rocks, listening to the dogs drink waters. You know, it's gonna be a good day. Cool thing with ballpoint is you can just do like some quick cross hatching and stuff. I like doing that, especially for stuff like this. Because I like cross hatching for this kind of thing. It's fun because you can like hatch in different directions to show like different planes. You know, it kind of makes it look like it has more of a shape, just by doing like really simple. Just think like, oh, like this rock face is maybe tilted a little bit this way, so when you do the hatching, you do it like that. Like this one is tilted this way, you do the hatching, do it like that, or like that. I like to think about that. That's one thing that I learned a lot about in art school, learning about like form and shadow and like how light works when it hits objects and stuff like that. You know, thinking about what angle the plane you're shading is facing in like a three-dimensional space. That might sound like crazy Star Trek talk, but thinking about that, you kind of know how the light's going to hit something. It's something you learn over time. There's some really cool like online courses and stuff that you can, you know, just videos that people make and stuff like that, where you can learn, you know, how 3D lighting works and stuff like that. It's one of those things that's like easy to learn, hard to master. You know, I'm still practicing shading, obviously. Like, you can only really get better the more you do it. Like, you're never really going to get worse. So, you know, the more time you put into it, the more you're gonna get out of it, I think. So yeah, I'm having a good old time drawing this rock, and getting a couple little rock friends on the side here. You could even like draw a little like climber dude, like climbing on top of it or something like that, like a cool creature. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going to be going out of town next weekend. Figured I might as well hit you guys up with the update right now. So I think I'm gonna release the next episode either like midweek, probably like before I leave, like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on like when I get it done and like what makes sense, just so that you guys aren't going a weekend without arts and farts. I don't want to do that to you. So we'll get that worked out. Because like, if you think about this right here, like look at this right here, like you could totally draw a landscape around this and just make this a mountain. Like, it's just, you know, you make it a small rock, but it could totally be like a large mountain too, and you could build like a cool landscape off of that. So if you guys want to take the exercise a little bit further from just drawing the rock, like I would recommend drawing the rock kind of like I did here, like starting at the top and kind of leaving like the bottom area open, and then you can add a whole bunch of stuff to make like a whole landscape if you want. I think it'd be a lot of fun and a really good exercise. I won't do that because they would make the episode too long, but I think that'd be a really fun thing to do. And I've been checking out all the drawings you guys have been doing on Twitter and Instagram, and I've seen a few on Tumblr, and it's really, really awesome. Like I look almost every day, like every other day I'll go through the hashtag and try to find the new stuff. So if I haven't like liked or retweeted yours or anything like that, I'm sorry. I haven't gotten to it yet. I am trying to keep up with it as much as I can, but you can always tag me too. I don't mind being tagged. So I can see your drawings as well. And remember, if you haven't watched before, you can share your work on social media, on Twitter or whatever, with hashtag arts and farts. So I'll be able to see it because I look through everything. I think it's really cool to see what you guys do. I really, really love this show. I love making it, and I love seeing you guys draw along and participate and have fun, draw some rocks, you know, that kind of thing. I talked last episode that maybe I was going to do like a landscape or something like that, and I thought about that, and I think before I get to doing like a full landscape drawing, because that would be like probably a longer episode unless I practice on just like really quick landscape sketches or something like that. I think it would be cool to do some other stuff first, you know, like some rocks and some plants and stuff like that. Because when I draw landscapes, especially from photo reference, as I've mentioned before, I like to kind of make stuff up. Like I use like a lot of the main shapes or even, you know, the topography and stuff like that, and then add other stuff. When I was drawing Errant, and I was drawing a lot of like natural backgrounds and stuff like that, a lot of times I would just look through like, you know, photos on Google of like, you know, forests and mountainsides and stuff like that. And I would use kind of like the general shape, you know, of like the land, like how it rises and falls, you know, it's a topography. And then I would kind of just add things and change things and make it kind of its own fictional place. But it's based in reality. So to me, it felt more real that way, I guess. Man, it feels good to draw on ballpoint again. It's been a while since I've done that. Fun. So I'm pretty much getting to the end of my rock drawing here. I'm feeling pretty good about it. That's a nice looking rock. That's a handsome rock. We get like a little rock buddy in here in the foreground. But I always say that like if you can use whatever, you don't have to use the same medium as me. You don't have to draw the same way as me. It's all about doing it your way and figuring things out for yourself. But hey, if you haven't used ballpoint pen before to draw like this and just do some quick sketches, I definitely recommend trying it because I tried it and it's a lot of fun. Plus, ballpoint pens, you find them everywhere. They're super inexpensive. You'll never be if you practice drawing with ballpoint pen, you'll never be without a drawing tool again in your life. I mean, same thing goes for like basic pencils and stuff like that. But yeah, you know. So cool. I'd love to see you guys rocks. Show me your rocks. I want to see them. Show me your rocks. So here it is again. I like drawing rocks. I had fun drawing this rock. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. This has been Arts and Farts, episode 4. I'm pretty much wrapped up here. But I wanted to talk a little bit about like just some of the shapes I kind of noticed while I was drawing this. I always kind of like to look back, you know, and think about like, if I were to draw this over again, like would I start somewhere different next time or something like that. This line right here that I was noticing, this line goes almost straight up and down, like vertically. Like you have a little bit of an angle here and a little bit of an angle. Oh, okay. Sorry, the recording got cut off. I'll do something to edit it. I don't know. Anyway, I was talking about this line right here goes like straight up and down. So if you wanted, you could make this like basically just sketch a line out right there, and then like just build your angles off of that. Like this you just draw a line on the paper like that, and then you can add all those little angles in later. But that would be a great place to start. If I were to draw this again, you know, like maybe with, like more realism or something like that, then that would be a good place to start, I think, because you could build almost the entire drawing off of that one line right there. Also, this one right here is really good. You got a nice contrast between the vertical and the angle here. I think it's really cool. But anyway, this episode's been all over the place. Got dogs hanging out. It's been a good time anyway. So, all right, it's fine. It's totally fine. So thanks for watching, everyone. This is Arts of Farts, episode 4. Show me your drawings on social media. I'd love to see them. Show me your rocks. That's the one. Show me your rocks. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next episode next week sometime. I'll post updates about it. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Thanks for all the support and everything like that. You know I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.